Welcome to the online worship service of the Universalist Unitarian Church of Riverside. Today is April 26, 2020. Our opening hymn is Just as Long as I Have Breath. Please rise in spirit. For our call to worship, please read with me our mission statement. Our mission is to foster a diverse religious community that celebrates life, affirms the individual, encourages spiritual growth and open thought, and works to advance social justice and environmental sustainability. Once again, welcome to the online worship service of the Universalist Unitarian Church of Riverside. We invite you to worship with us with an open mind and an open heart. Today we have Len Hayward speaking on What Can We Do? Len's sermon description says, "We have all been personally affected by the governor's stay-at-home executive order. It has been a difficult time of self-isolation, leaving us uncertain, fearful, and feeling powerless. How do we cope? What can we do?" Len Hayward grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area. He has a Master of Divinity degree from Andover Newton Theological School and is pursuing ordination as a UU minister. He is also an initiated Druid in the Order of Bards, Ovates, and Druids, OBOD. Len has a wicked sense of humor and a passion for teaching. He loves to open minds and hearts to the natural world and to connect with people from different spiritual paths. And most importantly, he is the proud minion of his cats, Fujin and Raijin. We have a couple of announcements we would like for you to keep in mind. Chat time is now being held online on Sundays at 11:30 a.m. Please email Lee Greer at president@uuchurchofriverside.org for the Zoom meeting number and password. Camp to Benneville Pines registration for summer and fall adult and family camps is open. Go to the camp's website, www.uucamp.org, and click on the Register for Camp button. There's been a lot of coronavirus, COVID-19, hype and misinformation circulating. You can get the most accurate and up-to-date information specific to Riverside County and San Bernardino County at these websites. The Riverside University Health System Public Health Coronavirus Updates are at www.rivcoph.org/coronavirus. The San Bernardino County Public Health Coronavirus Updates are at wp.sbcounty.gov/dph/coronavirus. A word of caution. Several churches have had members receive scam donation emails pretending to be from their church or their pastor. If you receive an email asking for a donation, please verify that it did come from our church. Do not click on any link in the email, and do not reply to the email. Send a separate email or give a call to our church office. The church office email is admin@uuchurchofriverside.org. The church office phone is 951-686-6515. Let us acknowledge that we walk upon the traditional territories of the Moronga, the original people of this land, who continue to cry out for justice and self-determination. In honor of the Moronga people, we, the Universalist Unitarian Church of Riverside, light this sacred flame as the stewards of this sacred and holy place. We are blessed with a space and opportunity to strive to live out our common principles, to bring justice, equity, and compassion into our daily lives, to resist all that threatens the earth and her people, and to live out our dream of a world community of peace, liberty, and justice for all. Let these thoughts carry us forth as we journey and worship together. The chalice is the sacred symbol of our faith. We light it to remind us of the light of reason, the warmth of community, and the flame of hope.
Our chalice lighting is adapted from Forged in the Fire of Our Coming Together by Gretchen Haley. What's going to happen? Will everything be okay? What can I do? In these days, we find ourselves too often stuck with these questions on repeat. What's going to happen? Will everything be okay? What can I do? We grasp at signs and markers, articles of news and analysis, Facebook memes, and forwarded emails, as if the new zodiac capable of forecasting all that life may yet bring our way, as if we could prepare, as if life had ever made any promises of making sense, or turning out the way we thought, as if we are not also actors in this still unfolding story. For this hour, we gather to surrender to the mystery, to release ourselves from the needing to know, the yearning to have it already figured out, and also the burden of believing we either have all the control or none. Here in our song and our silence, our stories and our sharing, we make space for a new breath, a new healing, a new possibility to take root. That is courage, forged in the fire of our coming together, and felt in the spirit that comes alive in this act of faith, that we still believe a new world is possible, that we are creating it already, here and now. Come, heed the call of the fire of our chalice. Let us worship together.
Our next hymn is What Wondrous Love. Please rise once more in spirit. Sharing joys and concerns is an important part of belonging to this beloved community. Our caring network will collect them during each week. Then on each Sunday, we will read what has been received since the previous Sunday. Please email or text your joys and concerns to Dinah Rowe, our caring network coordinator. Her email is ramblinrose22, RAMBLINROES22 @yahoo.com. Her cell phone number is 909-645-2885. Dinah's phone can receive texts, but it has been having trouble receiving phone calls. If you wish to talk with Dinah, please call Bill Rowe's cell phone, 909-835-5467. No new concerns were shared this week. We hope this week you have been healthy and safe. A concern when shared is divided. We place a stone in our water chalice for all the concerns we have. Know that we support each other. No new joys were shared this week. We hope your week included something that gave you joy. A joy, when it is shared, is multiplied. We place a stone in our water chalice for all the joy we have. Know that we celebrate together. Sharing our stewardship is how we can give of ourselves. We take 3 types of collections every week. The first 2 are for our Riverside community. We collect dry good food items for the food insecure, such as pasta, granola bars, crackers, and powdered milk. We also collect hygiene items for anyone who needs them, such as toothbrushes, travel-size soaps, shampoos, shaving kits, and socks. Our Social Justice Committee distributes these in front of our church every Thursday morning. Please email the church office to make an appointment to bring the food and hygiene items. Great Lakes script cards and Stater Brother cards can also be donated to help purchase food and hygiene items. You can get these through our church office. Once again, the church office email is admin@uuchurchofriverside.org. Our third collection is Sharing Our Treasure. This offering is how we fund all that we provide to our congregation and our neighbors. It is also how we care for our beloved and aging church. We have several ways that we can accept your donation. You may mail your donation to the church office. Please, no cash. Our church office address is Universalist Unitarian Church of Riverside, 3657 Lemon Street, Riverside, California, 92501. You can also make a digital donation. You may visit our website for a PayPal link at uuchurchofriverside.org/community/donate. If you have a smartphone, you may use the QR code displayed now to go to PayPal. We have a wonderful way to financially support our church at no cost to us. Great Lakes script cards for places like Amazon, Smart & Final, Vons, Arco, Chevron, Kohl's, Olive Garden, Starbucks, and Wendy's, and so many other places are available from Dinah Rowe or through our church office. If you buy a script card for, say, $10 at Starbucks, you get to buy $10 of Grande non-fat decaf quad shot no whip 2 extra pumps white chocolate mochas, all to go. And our church receives a percentage of the script price. We also have Stater Brother cards for your grocery shopping that also earns our church a percentage. Go shopping at Stater Brothers and you might even find a package of TP rolls. Please contact Dinah or the church office to purchase script cards and Stater Brothers cards. Once more, Dinah's email is ramblinrose22@yahoo.com and the church office email is admin@uuchurchofriverside.org. You can also help us when making purchases through the Amazon Smile program. Go to smile.amazon.com, be sure to have the smile dot at the front, and choose Universalist Unitarian Church as your charity. We receive 0.5% of your qualifying purchases. Additionally, by using Amazon gift cards purchased through our script cards program, we receive both the script card percentage and the Amazon Smile percentage. Please donate as the Spirit moves you by whatever method works best for you. Thank you for your generosity. And to those who give of their time and their talent, thank you for your generous care and attention.
Our prayer is The Courage to Continue on the Journey by Len Cox. Spirit of life and love, known by many names and yet fully known by none. We give thanks for this time and this place of renewal. We give thanks for the ability to begin again. After the disaster, after the tragedy, after the loss, after meeting the challenge set before us, grant us the courage to continue on the journey to speak up for the well-being of others and ourselves and the planet. May we forgive each other when our courage falls short, and may we try again. Grant us hearts to love boldly, to embody our faith and our values in living words and deeds. May our hearts open to embrace humility, grace, and reconciliation. Grant us the ability to learn and grow, to let the spirit of love and truth work its transformation upon us and within us. Grant us the spirit of hospitality, the willingness to sustain a fit dwelling place for the holy that resides in all beings. Grant us a sense of being at peace in the world, even as we are in motion. Let us cultivate together the strength to welcome every kind of gift and all manner of ways to be on the journey together. To this we add the silent prayers of our hearts. Blessed be. Our chalice lighting, forged in the fire of our coming together, begins with these questions. What's going to happen? Will everything be okay? What can I do? We've all been saying them. Our disrupted lives are uncertain. The onslaught of the coronavirus, COVID-19, brings the anxiety of the unknown, the waiting of something to happen, the fear of having no control. This has taken a toll on our mental health, particularly those already living with conditions like anxiety and OCD. How do we cope? How can we protect our mental health? In these difficult times, we've turned to any information source we can find and hope that knowledge about the virus will give us some understanding and the possibility of gaining just a little control over our lives. The science of emotions tells us the problem is when we start to run over and over about what stresses us. This increases our stress, and for some it triggers panic attacks. Psychology experts recommend we limit the amount of time we spend watching or reading things which are not making us feel better. They also say to take breaks from social media and to mute or hide triggering keywords, posts, feeds, and accounts. The key is to balance the benefit of keeping updated and connected with friends and loved ones with the exposure to bad news. Keeping your phone out of your bedroom or self-imposing screen-free time can help. Additionally, it's easy to forget that breaking news reports and social media posts are not the same as getting real information and well-reasoned analysis. At best, they are incomplete information presented from a limited perspective. At worst, they are intentional misinformation spun to match an agenda that is personal, political, or profiteering from our collective trauma. With so much intentional and accidental information being spread, we should limit our viewing and reading only to trusted sources. As stated in our announcements, our best sources are our local health agencies in Riverside and San Bernardino counties. They have the most up-to-date information on what is happening right here. Humans have evolved to be in community, but now we are being told to self-isolate. Being cut off from others can lead to depression, anxiety, OCD behavior, and other mental health issues and mood disorders. We can help our family, friends, and church family, and ourselves, by connecting with them using our technology, our phones, texting, email, and video conferencing. If you can, arrange for regular check-in times. While we are in isolation, we need a daily routine. The routine gives us some connection to our lives before, and variety gives us some control over how each day occurs. Remember, in our daily routine, we need to include exercise, eating well, and staying hydrated. Washing our hands is one of the best defenses against diseases. The emphasis on it has helped many of us to learn the correct way to wash hands, and to do it often. However, in others, this emphasis has triggered OCD behavior. Are we washing our hands to reduce the risk of spreading of the virus? Or is it being done ritualistically, in a specific order, to feel just right? We also need to strike a balance between daily routine and daily variety. The boredom of isolation can trigger disorders. A routine enhanced with variety helps to keep the boredom minimized. However, don't confuse a busy life with a healthy life. Even with daily routine and variety, if we don't get downtime, we can suffer burnout. We need to step away from our busyness and access nature and sunlight wherever possible. A piece of how we cope is how we choose to approach each part of our lives. What frame, what context do we use? For example, we can choose to say, I will not and cannot get sick. Or we can choose, I will practice proper distancing and hand washing. The first choice focuses on an outcome out of our control. It is a trap. It is an all or nothing, I must win expectation. Someone who has chosen the first approach will feel like a failure as soon as anything begins to go wrong. They are more likely to give up. The second choice is focusing on doing the best we can in a stressful situation. The key to the second approach is that it is focused on what we can control. We create anxiety and worry when we try to control what we can't. If instead we focus on what we can control, we can decrease our feelings of anxiety. A seemingly counterintuitive piece of expert advice is, don't obsess over being positive or happy. Actively pursuing happiness can lead us to focus on our own happiness and less on the happiness of others. This has been shown to contribute to feelings of isolation and disconnection. There is also a link between searching for happiness and feeling that time is slipping away. There is also that first choice trap. If we don't succeed at being happy, we feel we are a failure, even though it is normal to have difficulty feeling happy in stressful times. It may be wise then to spend less time trying to become happy and focus more on the little things that make us happy. Positive psychology is a well-established area of psychology that suggests we can improve our mood by focusing on the small things that bring happiness to us each day. In her book, 10 Minutes to Happiness, Sandy Mann, a lecturer at the University of Central Lancashire in the UK, advocates keeping a daily journal. She says that answering the following 6 questions, a task that should only take 10 minutes, can help us to find more happiness in life. 1. What experiences, however mundane, gave you pleasure? 2. What praise and feedback did you receive? 3. What were the moments of pure good fortune? 4. What were your achievements, however small? 5. What made you feel grateful? 6. How did you express kindness? There are 2 major benefits from keeping a short journal. When we write, it helps to remind us of the small things that brought us happiness. It also acts as a reminder of everything that has made us happy in the past. A good way to reduce stress is to distract ourselves. By focusing on the things we enjoy, we lower our blood pressure. Many people find meditation is another stress reliever. They find it calms their minds. Others, however, find the quiet can lead to overthinking. Only use meditation if it brings you calm. Some of us are finding the space we've chosen for working at home is a bit cluttered. For most of us, clutter makes it harder for us to focus on tasks. A quick tidy-up might help to get tasks done. Also, a messy bedroom has been linked with difficulty sleeping and messy kitchens with making poor health choices, like reaching for junk food. With our spending more time in our homes, it will be worthwhile getting our living spaces in order. However, some people work better with a bit of clutter around them. Tidy up if it makes sense for you. When anxiety and worries start becoming overwhelming, cognitive behavioral therapy gives us the Apple technique to help deal with them. Acknowledge. Notice and acknowledge the uncertainty as it comes to mind. Pause. Don't react as you normally do. Don't react at all. Pause and breathe. Pull back. Tell yourself this is just the worry talking, and this apparent need for certainty is not helpful and not necessary. It is only a thought or feeling. Don't believe everything you think. Thoughts are not statements or facts. Let go. Let go of the thoughts or feeling. It will pass. You don't have to respond to them. You might imagine them floating away in a bubble or cloud. Explore. Explore the present moment, because right now, in this moment, all is well. Notice your breathing and the sensations of your breathing. Notice the ground beneath you. Look around and notice what you see, what you hear, what you can touch, and what you can smell right now. Then shift your focus of attention to something else, on what you need to do, on what you were doing before you noticed the worry, or do something else, mindfully with your full attention. In the midst of this crisis, it's important that as a faith community, we help each other cope. We do this by maintaining contact with one another. Check in with each other, particularly those of us who live alone or are in a rehabilitation facility and other similar places. We can also turn to our spiritual traditions to find stories and lessons that can help keep us grounded and to have hope. During this last week, our Jewish kindred commemorated Yom HaShoah, also known as Holocaust Remembrance Day. It occurs on the 27th day of the Hebrew month of Nisan, which this year was from sunset on April 20th to sunset on April 21st. Shoah, which means catastrophe or utter destruction in Hebrew, refers to the atrocities that were committed against the Jewish people during World War II. This is a memorial day for those who died in the Shoah. Jews do not like to use the word Holocaust, which comes from a Greek word meaning sacrifice by fire. Sacrifice implies a holy ritual. The murder of 6 million Jews by the Nazis was not holy. They were not sacrifices. The Shoah was the largest manifestation of anti-Semitism in recent history. Yom HaShoah is a reminder of the horrors that Jews and other persecuted groups faced: forced labor, starvation, humiliation, and torture, which often resulted in death. It was a systematic effort to wipe out an entire population from the face of the earth. Most synagogues and Jewish communities gather together to mark Yom HaShoah through worship, music, and the stories from survivors. Many Jews commemorate the day by lighting yellow candles to keep alive the memories of the victims. It is in remembering them as they lived, not as they died, that the Jews find light from a dark time. It is in these memories and the stories of the survivors where they find hope and strength to persevere. On the reformedjudaism.org website, Aaron Hurt Mannheimer, the Union for Reform Judaism's editor-at-large, recounted his mother surviving a concentration camp, a 3-month winter death march, and then her eventual escape from the SS. Toward the end, she and 29 other women were deemed too frail to march and were herded onto a flatbed truck. It was no secret that they were being driven to the nearest forest to be shot. An American fighter plane appeared overhead and strafed the truck. Mannheimer's mother dragged her friend off the truck, and they ran. They crossed a field, waded a river, and hid in a barn under a stack of hay. The woman who owned the barn told them it wasn't safe to stay. She helped them hide on a nearby wooded hill and brought them milk. The next day, liberated French slave laborers found them and carried them back to the road to a Red Cross ambulance. The ambulance took them to a hospital in the small Czech town of Volary. There they learned from American doctors that the war was over. All but 3 of the other 28 women who remained on the truck were shot. Of the more than 1,000 women who set out on the death march after being evacuated from a concentration camp in Germany, only 1 in 5 survived. Of those, 23, including Mannheimer's mother, accompanied by Mannheimer and his sister, traveled to the Czech Republic in May 1995 to celebrate the 50th anniversary of their liberation. In Volary, a sculptured bronze female figure rises above the marked graves of 95 Jewish women who withstood the Nazi death march. The mayor presented each of the visiting survivors with a commemorative silver coin, bearing the image of the statue and a red rose. It was a 3-day festival honoring the heroic women who, for the people of this town, personified triumph over tyranny. Mannheimer's mother told him, "By taking you here, I accomplished a big step. This is the greatest gift I could give you and your sister. You now have a better understanding of what is important in life and what is not. Most of all, I want you to appreciate the power of faith. During the march, I believed with all my heart that my fate was in God's hands. That must be how I found the strength to go on. Today, in this time of COVID-19, Mannheimer's mother will likely spend her upcoming 100th birthday sheltering at home with her caregiver. When he asked her how this current tragedy is different from the time of Hitler, she told him, "You have to be hopeful and be grateful of what you have. In the concentration camp and on the death march, I lived on hope. Today, I have a home, food, a television, a phone, and hope." Can you imagine her personal experience of the Shoah? This young woman dragging her emaciated body over some 350 miles through the coldest winter on record, clothed in threadbare rags and wooden clogs, silently evoking the voice of God. "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not frightened, for I am your God. I strengthen you and I help you. I uphold you with my victorious right hand. Those who strive with you shall become as naught and shall perish." Isaiah 41, verses 10 to 11. This is just one story of one person, surviving the trauma of ultimate horror through her faith, and in the face of this pandemic, remaining hopeful and faithful. Remember, this quarantine is not the Shoah, as this pandemic targets no one. We are in our home, waiting for normal life to eventually resume. Rediscover your faith tradition stories and lessons. In them, find strength and hope, and be reminded by our faith community that none of us is alone. Blessed be. Amen. Shalom.
Our closing hymn is "Now Let Us Sing." Please rise in spirit. For our benediction, please close your eyes and reach out to each other in your thoughts. Feel the connection between us, the interconnected web joining us as a community, a church family.
Our benediction is from At a Threshold by Rita Capezzi. Spirit of life and love, we realize that our particular vulnerability in this time is new for all of us, though vulnerability has always been the norm for too many of us. Our hands may not touch, so may our hearts vibrate with the clarity of reason and the vitality of compassion, sensing our interdependence now and in all times. Blessed be. Amen. Shalom.
Please find important information and links, including those given in this video, in the video description below. Thank you.